Hey guys, welcome back to Channel 2S. I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and today we're going to be looking at the real grade Gundam Astray gold frame Amatsu Mina. For those not familiar with the real grade line, the boxes for these are all pretty much the same, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking at this. It just got a CG render of the mobile suit standing, a close-up of the face next to it, and then along the sides, instead of talking about the specific features of the gold frame, it kind of just talks about the general perks of the real grade line. And the top of the box is pretty much the same deal. Another thing you see on all the real grades is printing on the inside of the box where they just show you the same kit at some other grades. Although for the Master Grade and Perfect Grade they did have to make do with the red frames since there are no gold frames at those grades. So with everything unbagged, there are 14 runners included in the box. Along with the runners, you also get a short thick wire and a long thin wire. And you get the classic RG marking sheet. Some of these look cool, but I will most likely be using none of them. And as for the manual, the back of it is just marking and painting guides. And then inside there is some fresh story information. If you want to, you can pause right here and read up on it if you like. A few pages later in the manual, there is some more information about the kit's weapons, which for some reason is not translated. More weapons data, still not translated. And that's the manual. So last time we met, we looked at the high grade full armor unicorn and we had some laughs, we had some jokes, we had some fun, but there will be no jokes, no giggles, no gags today because the real grade gold frame is the real freaking deal. In fact, there is so little wrong with this kit that I am gonna put it all up front right now. These nubs suck. Not all the nubs, just these two on the front of the feet. The parts connect to the gates right in that little corner and they are living hell to clean. Far and away, these are the worst nubs I've ever come across on any kit I've built. Also, you'll notice that I have her wings swept quite far forwards. Yeah, she's got some weight problems. It's really a shame too, since her backpack looks so cool with the wings folded. Basically, if you try ground posing her, you're gonna have a pretty hard time. One thing that turned out surprisingly to not be a negative was actually the head construction. Everybody was hyping this thing up so much, saying it was so hard, it had so much trouble staying together, stuff would fall off it constantly. Basically, I heard nothing but bad things about the head build in this kit, and to be totally honest, it was pretty normal. More or less what I'd expect from a real grade. I mean, yeah, I guess these red pieces are kind of small, but they're really not that hard to work with. Just be careful and take your time and you'll be fine. Also, speaking of red, the colors they chose for this thing are freaking gorgeous. The multiple shades and finishes of black look absolutely beautiful. High gloss black, flat black, glossy gunmetal, flat gunmetal. They all look great together. And then you got those three shades of gold and that beautiful, beautiful red. They even took my absolute least favorite Gunpla color of all time, that ugly violet gray, and they made it look awesome. I don't know how, but somehow when it's mixed with that red and that beautiful glossy black, it suddenly looks so much better. And even setting aside the fantastic color palette this kit has, the sculpting on it is just so freaking beautiful. The edges, the angles, the curves, the spikes, they all look just perfect. The gold frame Astray has always been one of my favorite Gundams, but I have never seen it look this good. Okay, that's enough gushing. Let's see if she's got the moves to back up her looks. She looks up, looks down, limited rotation, articulated earlobes, and then the wings move here, 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 and a little bit here. These move, this moves, this moves, this moves up, it moves forward. She raises her arm beautifully. She rotates, tight bicep swivel. Respectable elbow bend, subtle mid forearm bend, every Gunpla hand ever. And then on the right arm, this moves up, it moves forward, the shoulder pad lifts up, arm comes up, normal tightness bicep, deeper double jointed elbow. Every hand ever, but this time tighter. Side to side torso wiggle that's just a little too loose for my liking. Opening cockpit, with no sitting pilot, but that's no big deal because you still get the standing pilot. No front to back on the torso itself. Instead, you can tip the whole top of the waist unit forward and get a passable forward crunch. And once you have that up, this piece can wiggle around a bit. These swing up, they rotate, they tip forward, they tip back. Front skirts are on super tiny, super tight little ball joints. Full waist rotation, pretty close to a full split at the hips. Great forward and back, barely sufficient thigh rotation. a very deep, very cool knee bend that comes complete with the signature real grade shifting armor. And while this is very cool to look at, you do have to be careful because there's a little sliding thing in here that can get jammed up as you're putting the leg back down in. These thingies move. Down at the ankles, there is another cool little bit of very subtle real grade shiftery. Anyways, below that joint, there's a ball joint that lets the foot come up to here, back to here, gently swivel. There's a hinge below it for a bit more movement, and the heel spikes are on hinge joints. There's also a few joints on the Astray frame hidden inside this front foot part, but because of the way it's designed, you can't really access them. So the gold frame isn't just a cool looking kit, it's got some pretty great posability as well. Just be sure you got an action base ready, because this girl ain't standing on her own. Oh, but I'm not done yet, because it's time to talk accessories. And this kit has one hell of an accessory loadout. Let's start with the hands. Holding hands, open hands, right fist, right articulated hand. And I want to take a moment to point out just how awesome the open left hand is for this. Just look at those fingertips. So cool. Now, for the weapons. First up, the swords. They can be held in either hand and they look just okay. And when they're not being used, they tab in here on the skirt. Now let's take a look at her shield. This thing looks really cool. There's some really great detail on this, like the serial number of the mobile suit engraved right here into the blade. The other side of the shield looks really awesome as well. It's got these 3 harpoons in it that are very sharp, and they can all be removed. And they can tab into the hands when you take them out. However, it is a very loose connection. You're definitely better off keeping them in the shield. And then to get the shield on the kit, you just attach, 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 and mount it on the kit. It looks awesome. It fits the design perfectly, and I love every bit of it. Next weapon is this. This is a arm-mounted claw. And to activate it, you just rotate, push, 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 attach, and then you've got yourself not just 1, but 2 really awesome weapons. But let's say perhaps you don't like the claw. Then maybe you'd like something with a little more reach. This is another of the Gold Frame's weapons, and it is exclusive to this kit. And it attaches to his arm just like the claw. And on her arm, it looks like this. What's that? You don't like the big black rod sticking up the back of her arm? Boom. Problem solved. Oh, but we're not done with this yet. Because if you open these up, stick this in here, and close it back up, yeah, that's right. Beam spear. Oh, but that's still not enough for you? Well, then you open this up, take this out, rotate, stick this on here, push it in place, rotate, and boom. Oh, but you still want more? Remove, obtain wire, attach, attach, grab your included stand, extend, and attach. Now, how does that make you feel? Honestly, I'm just surprised that Bandai finally got wire weapons right. Oh, and speaking of wire weapons, you can remove, attach, attach. Take a look at that. This is one of those moments where I wish I had a bigger light box. And now to answer the final question you may have. If the Gold Frame's got this shiny new Blitz arm, what happened to its old arm? Well, it's right here. And the crazy thing is, you actually get most of it. The only things you're missing are the shoulder pad connector and the front of the shoulder pad. Everything else you need for the arm is included. So in case you haven't figured it out at this point, I absolutely love this kit. 10 out of 10. 2 thumbs up. This is basically my Gunpla waifu now. I understand the Astray designs aren't for everyone, but if you like the Astray at all, or if you just love big, black, badass mobile suits, I just can't recommend this kit enough. This thing's like a tiny plastic metal build. That said, I really do recommend grabbing a stand if you're gonna get one of these. Anyways, this has been Second Soundwave, your host on Channel 2S. I hope you had as much fun tonight as I did, and if you did, be sure to leave a like. Also, if you're new, please do subscribe, because I am so close to 10,000 subscribers, I can smell it in the air. And as always, I'm Second Soundwave, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.